Got it. Okay. We've got okays. I'm gonna assume that's all good. And adoption of the minutes. They were those all looked great to me. I sent that along. Oh, Phil's coming in now. We'll just wait for him to come in. There he is. Hey, Phil.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No, it's all good. We were just getting underway here. We just approved the agenda and adoption of the minutes. So right at the beginning. Action items. Is that, let me see here. Okay. Gillian, action items, we're down at the bottom. Let Parks and Public Works Department know about the installation timeline. Yep. Excellent.
Yes.
And me, yes. And Jamie was confirmed that you have a sound system functional for speeches. Jamie, that was your action. Yes. Oh, sorry, you're muted.
It's unmuted. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Sorry, I saw your lips moving, but I wasn't sure if it was a yes or something else. Oh, and also easel was on your task list as well, Jamie. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. The past action.
Hey, Scott, do you know how much about how much the board weighs? Because our easels are not super hardy.
Oh, it's going to be very light. It's if it's the material Gillian was looking at, it's a alu core or die bond, basically a very light, rigid plastic with two skins of a light aluminum. So yeah, I would be surprised if it weighed any more than 3 pounds.
Okay, cool.
And Jamie, the size of it is 3 feet wide, 2 high.
Okay,
So
great.
fine. And if you could also get something to cover it, so that we can indeed unveil it.
Oh, like a sheet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big ask.
Maybe a piece of
As long as
black,
it's not a,
Piece of what, Mary Lynn?
like a piece of black bristle board, would that cover it, the whole thing?
2 feet by 3 feet.
3 by 3 feet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have large sizes like that at the.
We have some really nice linen that's not stained. Gallery. I'll find something.
Okay. Great. And the past actions, I'm going to say yes on that one for reviewing the text. Steph, you had a small subcommittee clarify loan and donation process. That's probably going to just defer.
After this.
Yep. Okay. And Phil was communicate deferral over to potential donor.
Yes, I did communicate.
Say that again.
I did communicate that.
Okay. Fantastic. Excellent. Great. Action items. Check. On to number 5, business arising from the minutes. I'm up first here with Gillian. So this is, so Gillian and I are madly scrambling to make this board installation event come together. Her and myself and Phil and our partner Mike met on site a couple days ago, and we reviewed the plan and the logistics. So I think we're all on board for that. We had initially set a date for this Thursday to start install. Based on weather and our conversations and thoughts on that, we have decided to postpone the start of installation until Saturday. We've got a lot more people available on the weekend. The weather is supposed to be quite lovely, springtime-like conditions. And we also needed a little bit more time because our visit, we also noticed that the area, the ground around the wall was back to being a little kind of gross and dirty. So Gillian is madly scrambling to get some people organized down there to clean it up a bit more for us before we put the boards on. So I would just say that we are all on track and we got lots of help, which is great. And it's gonna be a very exciting day. And it's gonna be kind of busy, but we'll have, I think we're doing this with enough time in advance that we, you know, if we do happen to run into any minor hiccups, that we've got lots of time as a buffer to solve any problems. But, you know, honestly, I don't anticipate any problems. We've done a lot of planning and work up to this point. So, you know, it's just going to be some effort getting those, getting that wall prepared for the installation of the boards. So, does anybody have any specific questions about the installation of the boards? And I'll let the launch event logistics come up next. But any questions specific to the installation?
How long do you think it'll take you, Scott, to do the whole thing?
Will take us. I'm not exactly sure. You know, we've got, what do we have here? 16 boards, 6 holes each. There's quite a number of holes. I think we calculated what, something like 80 holes or something. But it goes relatively quickly. I suspect by midday Sunday, we're going to have, we'll certainly have all the holes drilled and the anchors installed. And hopefully that will occur without, you know, anyone feeling like they're exhausted. So a nice steady pace, and we'll kind of get all those set up. We didn't. Originally, we were thinking we would install a couple of the sets of studs into the wall and then start putting the good boards on. And then I think Phil had a very good suggestion about, you know, waiting till all of the mounts were in place before we started putting the boards up. Don't want to have any beautiful art boards hanging about while there's all this kind of construction work going on, and we want to make sure that those stay safe. So it's a bit of a toss-up because there's also the issue about the studs sticking out without anything on them for a while. Was not, you know, it's never an ideal situation, especially for a high traffic location like that, but we are going to wrap them, you know, a little cap of foam, and we'll wrap them in some caution tape all the way along so that, you know, certainly everybody's going to be able to see that there's something there, and we'll avoid any injury that way. So yeah, a couple days for that. And then I would say another day to run all the boards down there and install them. That part will go quite quickly.
And when do you want help on those days?
We will take help on any day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've got a good amount of people for the, you know, I think for the start, maybe too many cooks in the kitchen messes things up. So I think we've got enough people for the start on Saturday. Everybody's welcome to come down and take a look, and, you know, grab people a coffee or a drink or something if you felt. But I think right now we've got enough people for the start of it. Just as we get the process up and running, it always takes a little bit to kind of, you know, get the system worked out. And then once it's rolling, then we're just kind of buzz along. And then, you know, who knows, maybe by, you know, midday Sunday, we've already, you know, we've come farther than we expected, and we could actually start getting boards up. So fingers crossed, we'll get all that sorted out.
Okay. Well, Gillian, you have my cell number, don't you? Do you? Then
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm just thinking, it sounds like we might be better off like scheduling the board put up for a different day and not trying to fit it in and coordinate last minute to get more people there to help. Might be a bit tricky to do. So I'm wondering if we should set a day, midday next week, you know, weather depending. To see if we can do that.
Yep.
It just seems like there's too many variables to try and get people there at a certain time, but we don't know when exactly.
Yeah,
what the need is.
it could be tricky. That is true. So,
Well, just let me know when you need help.
okay.
Okay, and just to loop back quickly to the cleaning of the wall and removing the weeds and dirt and stuff, it's proving to be a little bit more challenging than anticipated, trying to find available staff to do that in the short timeline. So I haven't totally figured out how to make that happen, quite honestly. It might be me with a hose and a weed whacker, but kind of hoping it's not that. But
Well, I wonder if, I unfortunately don't have any time myself to devote to that part, but a simple hose and a spray head would at least get some of that dirt back off the wall and out to, oh, there, my screen just suddenly brightened up. Good job. Get some of that dirt off the wall. I'd hate for one of us to have to go down there and do that kind of work, but keep us posted.
Other than Friday, Gillian, I can help with that too.
okay, well, if somebody wants to take the initiative, I think it's actually, there's a lot of dirt. So it's line trimming the weeds out and then removing the dirt, because the dirt is what's splashing up onto the wall, right,
So
when it rains. So if we just clear it off the wall and leave it down, like, that's not accomplishing it fully, right? So
you're cleaning the top and the bottom, or just the bottom?
we're talking about the bottom.
Oh, the bottom.
Most
Okay.
part, yeah.
I don't
The
have a
top
weed
isn't
whacker.
so bad.
Okay. I don't have a weed whacker. I don't even have a broom. I don't have a hose. but I'm willing to do whatever. I've got the weekend off, so I can do something.
Okay. And actually, some of that might be able to be done while there's some of the drilling at the other end, maybe.
That is
Smart
true.
idea.
If we're not
Or
breaking the
maybe we
boards
do
down.
it after we drill.
Possibly, that could be done. If we drilled and got everything in, and then we cleared out of there, and then it got cleaned. Yeah, absolutely doable. As long as it happens before the boards were installed, we would be okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we might be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we would need like a nice long hose or a couple, because we can connect to that e-bike place, hopefully, for water. And then, a shovel to dig things out would help and get things moved along, and then just spray it down. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I wonder if a pressure washer would do it. Like, just to go along with the pressure washer and just knock out all that stuff.
It would be great. We just don't have access to a pressure washer.
And power too, right? I think.
Power we do. We actually, Mike came down and he actually found, and Gillian too, found access to an electrical outlet and a water bib. So we have what we need, except the equipment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we want to pressure wash the wall, because
to
take
paint.
the risk of the paint coming off again.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. And so the other piece I wanted to talk about is that we've been looking into the work safe requirements for this installation work. What is required of staff and volunteers to be on site doing the work. So there's a lot of things, including high visibility vests and protective eyewear, and all sorts of requirements around drilling into concrete. So we need to make sure there's not that many people right close to the wall in the working site, especially around the concrete requirements, because we need to wear respirators or an N95 mask, and the eye protection, sound protection. We need hard hats because some of the work is overhead. And I'm not sure if that matters just for the drilling. I think so. I think it's any work overhead, you have to wear hard hats. So sorry, I'm not buying hard hats for everyone. I don't mind getting lots of glasses and things, but ask that, if you're involved in anything that's going above the head, you have to bring your own hard hat if you've got one. Otherwise, that might not be the role for you. So Phil, do you have a hard hat? Assuming that you do, hopefully.
I don't actually. I'll make some calls.
Okay. Or you use mine because I'm not holding up the drill, I'm not the driller. So.
Right.
And I don't think it can be any helmet. No,
It
I
has to
think
be.
the work
Nice,
has
yeah,
to be
Mike
hard
helmet.
hats. Yeah.
Hard hat. Hey, Phil, how about a respirator? Do you have a decent respirator?
I don't have a volatile chemical one, but I have like N95 is for the concrete dust.
Okay, you don't have a cartridge one.
I do. But I think the N95 is up to what we need, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to WorkSafe, N95 is fine.
All right. All right.
Yeah, and
Great.
we need to make sure we have all the barricades up, the sidewalk closed, all this kind of stuff, signage cones, all these kinds of things. So Public Works has been very helpful with all that.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you, Gillian. I know that was a bunch of unexpected work, so I appreciate you jumping on that so quickly.
Yeah, slight curveball. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hey, Gillian, does Public Works have like a bristle broom, like one of those hard sort of bristle brooms and a hose? Because I can't do this during the week. I just can't be away from the gallery. But on Sunday, I could come down and clean.
Awesome. And we can work that out around drilling and yeah, that would be great. So
Yeah.
I'll ask about the bristle broom, and I have a long hose at home that I'll just bring.
Okay. And I can bring a shovel,
Thank you.
but no weed whacker.
I don't know that the weed whacker would be so, we'll see. Maybe a shovel will dig it out enough. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll
All
see.
right. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, if there's no other questions specific, thank you, Gillian, for that extra fill in there. Yeah, that was good. Those were good points. Can we move on to the launch event now? If everybody's okay with that, we'll move on to the launch event. And who's speaking on that one?
I suppose I am, but honestly, I haven't done anything. Just been too busy being on holidays, and then catching up when I got back. So honestly, I haven't done a thing. So I suppose Greta, Mary Lynn, and I need to meet to talk about the plan.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to say that I really do apologize, but I'm not going to, I'll be here for the launch, but I have to go away on Friday, and tomorrow I have an emergency dental appointment, so I'm just a total loss here. I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah, totally fine. So can we leave that, I guess, Marilyn and Jamie to follow up with each other to go over the logistics of that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Jillian?
Sorry, I feel like I should kind of jump in because of the email that I sent to you all about applying for that grant funding. So we did that and we were successful and received $1,000 for that. So we kind of had to get some things in motion because we wouldn't have the capacity to execute it within this length of time. So I can tell you a little bit about what our team's been doing because everybody's been getting pretty excited about it all. So actually, do you want to see the sign that's in production that will be part of the thing that we're unveiling? Do you want to see it?
You want to do that because we're live, right?
Well, I think it'll just be like a quick snippet and, the masses know, we don't have to, but if, I'm not
Well, I
sure
don't
there's
think
that
there's
many
any,
people who are going to watch this.
Feel free to share. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
would be exciting and I don't think it contravenes any privacy issues.
If anything, it's getting some people excited about it.
That's true.
hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. So this sign, Sophie from the Muni did the work on that. A lot of the language is from Sarah Haxby, but just revised a bit. We checked the spelling and inclusion of all names multiple times to make sure all the artists were listed. Councillor Nicholson also had a look at it. So hopefully there's no more mistakes because it's gone to print. So in order to get it in time.
And this is the board that's going to be on the easel?
Yes,
Okay.
And how big is this?
it's 3 feet wide, 2 feet high.
Okay.
And where was it going to be installed, at the beginning or the end of the panels?
I think at the beginning, is what
beginning?
my
Oh.
understanding was.
Great.
Yeah. So it's and that's partly why we chose the same material as the sign that's adjacent to it, the Islands Trust sign. Bowen Island.
Now there's no year on here. Oh, there,
No.
no, there it is, 2022 Gateway Mural. Never mind.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kind of wondering, our funder, the donation, their name is quite small in relationship to the others.
Which is appropriate because this is a project of the committee and they're also written as well, funded in part by Sangit. So they're written
Okay.
up and with the logo. So
Okay.
it is sort of in keeping with priority, I think.
Sure, okay.
What was the cost on this, Gillian? The total cost?
I don't know precisely. It's slightly over 200.
Okay, so part of that grant is the sign, I'm assuming.
No, the grant is for the launch event.
Oh, okay, it's not the sign.
This is part of the project budget overall because it's
Oh,
a key piece of it.
Okay,
No, it's the grant is from the BC Recreation and Parks Association supporting Family Day events across the province.
okay. So
that's why you'll see I'm going to send you a different, let's see if I can find it. Where is it here? I'm going to send you a different poster. We've had to send it to approval from the province. So it's funds that are distributed through the association, the BCRPA, but it's provincial funding. So their logo had to be put on the sign. That's one of the requirements of the funding. So once we get this approved from them, then I'll distribute it to everybody. So if you can make copies and post them, great. If you want to pick up printed copies from the Muni, great. But I think we should try and plaster them all over the place, right? All over the cove. So if anybody wants to do some of that, that would be awesome to help with.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So I've also been in touch with Bob Baker and the Mosquit Amigo song dancers. So Bob Baker is a gentleman, he's a Squamish Nation cultural advisor who's done a lot of work on Bowen Island. He and Sarah Haxby started Whale Day, which is a celebration of the return of whales to the Salish Sea and what is, recognizing and connection to place within the Salish Sea and connection to culture. His group also performed the land blessing ceremony for the health center. If anybody attended that.
That's right. I thought I recognized that name. Right.
Mm-hmm. So at this time, we've been talking about him and one other dancer attending. So they're also coming for the community center land blessing ceremony next Tuesday. So he's, as I say, he's strongly connected to Bowen, which is great. So
Excellent.
he's thrilled about this project. It's so in alignment with what his work is all about. So he can come. I think Councillor Nicholson or maybe Steph spoke to the mayor about him speaking a bit, and I can help prepare some talking points for him. I think there's all sorts of references to this community's connection to nature and how deeply we value the lands and seas around us and in all of the municipal strategies and plans. So I think you'll probably bring up some of that. But I thought maybe, Scott, we need to figure out a little bit what you're saying, what versus what he's saying. And so, who's recognizing Sangre de Fruta and other people involved in the project, or how that plays out, because he'll need some talking points.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I'm speaking to anything that's sort of more specific to the project and how it came out and Sangre de Fruta and that probably makes more sense. And maybe Mayor Andrew can, talk about, I'm not exactly sure, something maybe more of the general kind of issues that.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not sewage, I guess we're okay.
Yep, we'll avoid that topic.
Yeah, luckily this is all a feel good project.
That's
This is a
right,
great.
We get to
Yeah.
make people happy. Jillian, sorry, I had one question about Bob Baker. Is there an honorarium
Yeah.
offered him? Okay, thank you.
There
Great.
is, so that will be partly paid by this grant funding,
Perfect.
which
That
was
about-
part of the reason that just having two representatives of their group is what we can afford, I think. At
Yep,
this
okay.
time. So
So is that
Um,
about $600 then that we'll be paying them?
Yeah.
Okay, so 600 of that thousand's gone.
yeah, I've pretty easily figured out ways to spend most of it. Well, for example, we've been working on a couple of different activities because as this was a family day event, I thought it was really important we had things for kids to actually do. So we've come up, I can show you a screenshot of something in the works as well. One of them is a Who Am I activity. So I think we've got about 15 examples of these in the works, and this is not yet formatted. So don't look at formatting, just look at the concept of it. But the idea being we have a zoomed in snapshot from the mural, and then all these questions that are sort of increasingly giving away the answer to who it is. And through
Right.
this, we can weave in information, we can about our culture, about the natural history of animals, or all kinds of stuff we can weave in through this. And then
So
they
this
have to
is
go and
online.
find
This
it.
is online. This is online then, or printed, or
We were thinking this would be printed. And so we can either, my staff can either help facilitate it with kids to do it, or we can hand them out individually to families to have it, and they do it. So it should be fun. We're also working on a something for the moment, just calling it a heritage walk. So it's not necessarily this discovery based, but it takes them through some of the stories told throughout the mural. So part of what Sarah Haxby did was write up all this history about the different images in there. So we've pulled out the ones connecting to heritage and connecting to anthropology, ethnobotany, human connection and engagement in nature, and our local island culture. So that weaves into the launching of BC Heritage Week. And quite honestly, it also supports a down the road application for a heritage award, a community heritage award from a municipal standpoint. So that one is sort of a guided tour as you go down the mural of some of the features, and sort of probably a little bit appealing, a little bit different demographic. And so I think we were also thinking we could have an information table about rec, and the Parks Department would like to have, they'd be there and have some information about the Green Shores program and about ecosystem and shoreline protection initiatives with the Muni, because I think all of what we're trying to do is help building passion and awareness for our local land. And if you're thinking about what happens for conservation, first you have to be exposed to something, to learn about it, to love it, to conserve it, right? So this is just a first step in helping get people caring about what we've got going on here. So I was thinking, Jamie, if you wanted to have stuff about the hearth and programming at that as well. And in our mind, we're thinking it's just sort of an extra stop for people and something to do. And we have a spin to win type of wheel, like you spin it and it goes around and it stops on something, and we can have some prizes to give away to people if possible.
wow.
So,
It sounds
and
amazing.
and Steph is saying Heritage Commission will have a table. And Steph, you should talk about the cookies.
There's not lots to talk about. The museum and archives are doing a really interesting event for Heritage Week, which is to do with the Blind Institute is now the Lodge. So they're interviewing Alex Dirkinson and getting some history of the theme this year is accessibility and inclusivity for Heritage Week. So they'll be doing that. The Heritage Commission, the Municipal Commission, will just be having a table at the pier, piggybacking with you guys. Have the new Heritage mascot is the owl. And so there'll be a little sign explaining the owl. His tagline is story and cookies with the owl on it, and a few pamphlets. another heritage walk, which is the existing one, the QR trail.
So who's buying the cookies and
That's coming from the heritage budget.
they'll be on their table, so we don't
Yeah,
have to worry about, okay, cool.
but I think we can share, like,
Sure. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
we'll
you know,
pay, like the heritage people will pay for it, but I think it'll be part of this event. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you need Mary Lynn and I to do. 'Cause I
Doesn't
don't-
sound like a lot.
I think it's
Sounds
juice
like, you know,
boxes.
it's well
Like-
on its way, but I don't want to, skip something or have an expectation that we're supposed to be doing something. So,
Well, think we haven't really coordinated things like tents and actually bringing those tables, and who's like sort of being the MC and making sure things are moving along. And
you want
and
me to
happening.
coordinate with the MC, which is Scott?
Well,
You want us to coordinate with Scott?
I'm just saying I don't want to be sort of running the event. I can get my staff there and I can get some stuff set up, and I'm
Okay.
organizing activities and stuff, but I don't necessarily want to be sort of coordinating people and time and tents and.
Okay, so there's two different things. So there's the logistics for setup, tents, easel, sound system. But then there's another whole thing about what's the schedule, like with Gary and Scott, and when we pull the sheet off like I don't know what you want, what the plan is for that, and I don't know if you want me and Mary Lynn to do that, or is that
Sure.
already-
Yes. If you want to like create that agenda, that timeline of things, that would be great. I think
Okay.
Bob could be 10 minutes. He could probably be 30 if we let him, because he's got a lot of songs and stories to tell. But
Okay, so we need Bob's contact information so we can let him know what time he's on.
and I have to be in touch with him anyway, so I can
What? Sorry?
I have to contact him anyway.
But
Community
is he
center, so-
first on, or is Gary first on, or what does everyone want?
Yeah, I think it's
That's
gonna be,
that was in the minutes of the last meeting. We decided which order it was going to go in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those
sorry,
are all
I
the
don't remember.
minutes, the agenda.
Okay, I'll have to find that. I don't remember that conversation. Okay,
Jamie, maybe you and I should brainstorm maybe tomorrow sometime. Sit down and just hash it out
sure.
together, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
that would be great. Thank you both. Yeah, we'll just jump on that part.
And I'll find that list and highlight it.
Okay, thank you, Steph.
I think we also should assign somebody as photographer for the event. And making sure we get photo permission, perhaps if we need to, as we're going along. Often we forget to document these things unless we assign somebody, right?
Mhm. Who isn't going to be busy? That's the challenge. Let's well, let's see if somebody was about to talk.
no, I mean, there's a lot of photographers on the island, maybe we can just kind of put some feelers out and say, hey, you want to come down and participate in this awesome event and bring your camera.
Do we not, Bronwyn would have been on the scene with
Exactly.
the current. We know who the replacement is and whether they're available for something like that.
His name is Alex, the new editor.
I've
but that wouldn't
met
be-
him. Yeah.
Do you want to see Mary Lynn? Do you want to just reach out and just ask him, hey, this is what's happening. Do you know about it? Are you planning on coming? And would you take a few pictures?
Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome. Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily provide us the pictures that we need for documenting.
Well, we can
Yes,
ask him
so-
that. We can make that a
Yeah.
requirement.
Okay.
Maybe.
What are you looking for, Gillian? Like a bigger overview record of all the
Well-
different activities and things like that? And
Well, I think the more the more pictures we have, the more options we have for what we do with them, and the more,
That is true, yeah. I know.
archive
Oh,
ability that we
it's
have.
I mean, I'm happy. I can do photography. I'm happy to do photography if I'm not needed for something else on the day.
We could, yeah, that, I mean, if you don't mind, Mary Lynn, just maybe adding that to a little task list for yourself would be great too. And then also maybe, I mean, we're all carrying cameras in our pockets nowadays. So I guess the other thing could be, you know, if you have a moment and something's happening in front of you, take some pictures with your phone and then send them out. Maybe Mary Lynn, you want to be the repository for any images. Consolidate them all and then we
I mean, that may be the best thing, right? Just say, hey, if you were at the event and you've got some great photos, we'd love to have them, right? That's easy.
One person can't be everywhere, and there's stuff going to be happening, you know, it's going to move quite quickly, and you know, it's like those people who get their wedding attendees to take the pictures of themselves, you know. You get a lot of variety. Who knows?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as we're also being careful that we're, you know, how we're using pictures of kids. We need consent.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true.
Is there value in creating a photo list?
A photo list.
Like we want one of the entire mural, one of each person who did a speech, one of children enjoying themselves, one of each table. Would you like me to do that?
Could you?
Hey, Steph.
Sure.
Why not? All right, you just did it,
No
actually.
one else wants to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I think, was that everything, Gillian, on?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
so. We were actually looking, the last piece of it is that we've sourced out a great little guide to the seashores, a nature guide. You know, those types that are sort of plastic laminated and they fold like this, and we found a really great one that's a guide to our shores.
Amazing.
So we'd like to spend a bit of money buying those for families, and then either we give them as prizes for doing other things, or I might be able to get one of our staff to actually, if anybody's interested, to lead a little nature walk to the lagoon and to the beach using the guides and looking at things from the mural. And then we give them out to people to continue to enjoy our shorelines around Bowen.
Amazing. I wouldn't mind one of those myself. They sound great. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. And I just realized there was one thing I forgot about us, with all of us with installation, is that I will be emailing out a volunteer consent form, and just a fillable form for everybody who's on site as an official BIM volunteer. And that helps us with the insurance requirements as well. And it just gives consent, and that you know that you're there as a volunteer, and it's a liability and consent waiver type of thing. It's so it's not really a waiver, it's just a consent, because everybody helping with the installation is covered under our insurance.
I'm sure that this was spoken about before, but I know it starts at 1:30, but how long are we thinking this whole launch party will happen? Like 2 hours? Sounds like there's lots of things going on. There's the kids interactive project, the heritage walk. The tables will be set up. People will be visiting. What are we thinking? A couple of hours?
I don't really know, quite honestly. I find it hard to judge.
I thought we said like 20 minutes last time. We just did like, there will be the speeches, the unveiling, the Squamish, the table, and then these activities take people off site generally. Okay. Oh, but then we're gonna have Jamie Woodall there playing for.
Yeah, and the activities are like at the mall.
Yeah, I thought it was an hour. I thought it was just between the ferries.
Sorry, I'm gonna try to find these notes and share them again.
Well, the ferry's going to be going at what, 2:50?
Yeah, it was the ferry amount of time.
It's the other one unloading first. So the two whatever coming from Horseshoe Bay will arrive at I don't remember when it leaves or when it arrives. But we're on the dock, right? Like we're not necessarily right in the way there. And I think it sort of depends on the rain a lot
Yeah.
too, or lack thereof. But how long is Jamie, how I haven't actually quite understood the whole DJ part of it, how that sort of works out with it all too. Is she background playing or like, where is she set up? How does that work?
No, I don't
Well,
think
we can hash that out tomorrow too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I just found the note. So it said that the speeches would take 15 minutes. This is in the minutes that you guys just adopted. Next time I'm gonna put something really, really funky in there and you guys are gonna adopt it. It's gonna involve a pay raise or something. Yeah, so 15 minutes for speeches, and yeah, I'll just put these back into an email to support, to make it top of mind for your meeting tomorrow.
I really think we should be hanging on to the idea that we're doing it between ferries because, you know, people are going to be rushing down to catch the ferry. There's all these people coming off the ferry. And so the speeches need to be done well before the next ferry arrives, or it would be kind of pointless having somebody trying to speak when all that was happening. So I think we should aim to keep it between the ferries, and it'll run over because we know it will. But we should start out with that as a goal. I mean, doing the stuff with the kids can happen afterwards, but I think the main focus should happen in between the ferries.
And the 1:30 start gives us that opportunity, right? I don't think we can change that now because it's gone out in the paper and all of the Bix families have been invited and all this kind of stuff went out in newsletters. And so if we start with speeches, 15 minutes and Bob's 15 minutes and the other stuff is sort of more fluid and organically happening.
Yeah,
Sorry, everyone.
it's okay. We just made some major decisions.
Yeah, good.
You're-
Okay.
Yeah, we assigned you to
While I
everything.
was out of the building. That's
You're
great.
gonna
I'm
be
glad.
so much busier than you thought.
My task list is ginormous now. All right. Well, let's see. Is there anything I need to get caught up on while I was vacant there?
You
Or are
were
we
just
okay?
talking about the timing being between ferries.
Ah, yes.
15
While we're
minutes.
doing the work?
No, for the launch, so 15
About
minutes.
the
Oh.
launch.
Got you. Okay. Thanks. I'll let that go. All right. Did I enter back in the middle of a conversation or was it finished?
Perfect timing.
Okay, perfect timing. Perfect timing to launch back in. Okay. One of the things I'm realizing I missed at the top was whether there were, I'm assuming there weren't, but just double checking that if there were any public comments, Steph?
No.
No? Okay. Great. We'll just strike that off then.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Sarah Haxby is also, she said she would give a few words too on behalf of the artist team.
Yes. I thought that was listed somewhere.
Okay.
I knew that for some reason, but I can't remember where I saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can, if there's nothing else, I think we could probably, if we got a next meeting date set at this point, Steph?
Oh,
No? Should we try and do that?
sure. After the event?
Yes, I think so.
So
So what are we at? Does this time work for everybody? I think this was a collective decision to meet at about this time that we would wrap up just about before the end of the day for most people, kind of thing.
Sure.
So for a 4 o'clock,
Mhm.
a 4 o'clock start.
So what about like
first week in March?
Yeah, like Wednesday the 2nd, or Wednesday the 2nd would be still the energy for a postmortem on the event. Wednesday the 9th would give the subcommittee an opportunity to meet. Or Wednesday the 2nd can also give the subcommittee an opportunity to meet, just a bit of a tighter timeline.
I would,
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
prefer the 9th.
I'm not
there's a
available.
vote for the 9th. Yep.
I'm not available on the 2nd. I'm installing an art show, so.
Okay. 9th is good for me. I think we're gonna all be pretty exhausted after this big push for this thing. So a little bit of a week of a break, not rushing back into it would be fine by me. I'm sure everyone else,
Perfect.
if anybody
Okay,
else
so
wants to
I'll say
weigh in.
I'm hearing Wednesday, March 9th at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Good for me.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta try to calendar it this time.
Whoops.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and how about all those people who said it's not in my calendar?
It's a quick meeting with Greta and Greta.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, Phil said it was in his calendar, so.
Ah, okay. There you go. You two were paying attention. Love it. Okay, we'll take that. March 9th, 4 p.m. And if there's nothing else, I would move to adjourn.
Yeah.
Everybody okay?
Mhm.
Oh, and bless you, Steph. Excellent. Okay, well, listen, thank you all
Thank you
again.
so much.
Lots coming up. This is pretty exciting. Yeah, we're gonna make a big push. This is our big splash. So I think there's a lot of support, enthusiasm out there. The work is looking amazing. I think everybody's seen enough to know that I think we kind of nailed this one as a committee. Good success coming up. So let's see this through and look forward to seeing everybody over the weekend. All right.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye.